What's up, chat? We're live! Mr. Magic, welcome on in. Welcome on in, everybody else. We are live for another Sunday. Sunday. Tonight we have a special guest who will be joining us in a few moments. We've got a few things to get through first, but welcome on in to another episode of Paradigm 2 Shadows Embrace. We have a full deck tonight with our squad, with Mr. Stib finally back in controlling of the Marath. A few things just to get out there before we get started. Moving forward, I know we did our session 1. We talked about milestone stuff. Moving forward, I've talked with the players now. We're going to move forward using the XP system. Just a little bit easier to track than the milestone for me specifically. Less work that I have to worry about, which will also mean as far as keeping people within sort of the right sort of level each other, is Marath will be running with the group permanently, and when Mr. Stib isn't here, I will be controlling him. Obviously Stib will let me know if there's anything in particular he wants to do in any specific situation, but as a general rule, he's a barbarian, he likes to hit stuff, so it's relatively easy. As far as RP is concerned, when he's not here, I'll be probably keeping the RP on Marath's part to a minimum, but obviously do my best not to paint him into a corner with RP, which shouldn't be too much of a hassle. So if we're all ready to go, we'll jump into it. JJ, what's up? So last we left off, you had all received your cloaks and now are officially soldiers within the Dragon Scale Militia. You celebrated with drink and food, and then eventually, knowing you had your first assignment, you found your beds and rested. The next morning, you woke and formed up on the parade ground. A couple of you a little worse for wear, Uth and Various being a little hungover. But you were given the information pertaining to the mission, and which would take 4 to 6 days depending. You were offered a choice to go by foot or by mount. You opted to go by foot, which definitely made the trip a little longer, but it didn't seem to worry you too much. You travelled the main trade road heading northward from the keep in Valond. The trade road, which Tol'vr would know reasonably well, as it leads to Gatton and Refield, an area which he is very familiar with. Along the way, you ran into all walks of life, all manner of people, but in particular, you met with a trader who offered to sell some wares. Some questions and answers later, and some purchases made, and you're on your way once again. Heading this time westward into the forests of Paradigm. You eventually found the base of the mountains and the path leading to the cave opening that was marked on your map. You ventured inside, and once inside, you realized that it is going to get very dark very quickly in this place. So you moved onward, torches lit, moving down corridors, lighting wall torches as you went. These torches had not been lit for some time, but were still serviceable. Eventually coming into a large chamber, and a floor standing torch was lit at this point, with little caution from some of you, but it lit the room. And on the walls of this room you found murals and paintings and runes depicting demons and a large red dragon. You also spied a sarcophagus in the far reaches of this room. You'd been hearing noises for quite some time as you were venturing forward, and the noises seemed to be coming from that general direction. On further inspection, a small amount of movement was noticed as the sarcophagus itself had been damaged in a recent small cave-in, which is probably what led to the scouts discovering this in the first place, was the earthquake had possibly uncovered the entrance to this cabin. closer inspection and backwards and forwards about checking for traps and conversations we had, didn't even have time to open it as the busted side of the sarcophagus gave way and the lid slid off. And what emerged was a rusted, metal-covered humanoid who surged forward and upon seeing Tol'vr reacted rather hostilely towards him. However, within moments, kind of froze up and rattled off a bunch of stuff that you guys hadn't really heard of before. Then turning and facing Dilly, recognizing her pin as a Lance Corporal, you determined that this creature's name was LV, designation number 426, and that it was possibly malfunctioning at some point. It kept rattling off about dragons and dragon sympathizers. It then requested to be returned to Valon, to the city, to the Mage's Tower for repair and possible redesignation. A little backwards and forwards between you decided not to shackle the creature, and Corporal Tol'vr insisted that Private First Class Dilly was in charge of and responsible for LV for the return trip, which she did so, as her corporal had ordered. At this point, Varys and Uth were kind of stunned. I mean, none of you had really seen Warforged before. Dilly had probably seen a few from where she's from, probably not to interact with quite closely, but she knew of them and knew basically what it was. The rest of you, however, had no real idea what this thing is and what it's capable of. Corporal Tol'vr specifically would be a little concerned that this creature has an affinity to dragons and dragonkin, and I would say is most likely expressed his concerns on the trip home. Sorry about that sudden music there. That was a bit weird. Turn that down a little bit. So it was decided you would spend the night in the cave. It seemed relatively safe. It was getting dark outside after all. So you spent the evening in the cave. You then, the next morning, woke early, collected yourselves and your belongings, and headed back towards the keep and back towards the city. Knowing that you'd have to report back to the sergeant, you would know to report directly to the keep prior to heading into the city with a potential hostile. Especially considering you chose not to shackle this unknown entity. So you spend the next 2-3 days traveling back towards the keep. Eventually, the keepers spied off in the distance. The weather over the last 2 or 3 days has been average. A couple of cloudy days, but no rain. It is, after all, it's in now, we're heading towards the end of Azil. It's in springtime. Summer is approaching. Which brings me to the next point. As you return to the keep on Kadrith, the 31st day of Azil, you approach the gates. You are halted at the gates, even though you have your uniforms. The soldiers at the gate halt you at the gate and ask who you bring forth. Specifically speaking to you, Tol'vr.
We found this creature on our mission, and it has requested to come back to the tower and Valon.
All right, enter in. And the gates are opened. You are led back into the courtyard where you were instructed to wait by another longer serving corporal who says that he will head out to find Sergeant Stormhammer. So you wait at the gate, and eventually the corporal returns with Stormhammer in tow. All right, attention you lot. Don't forget where you are. So what do you bring back? What is this thing?
Private Dilly, please present what we have found.
This sergeant is Evie, designation 46, originally from the Dragon Wars, I think it is. Is that right, Evie? LV, sorry.
Muted base.
Affirmative.
He is what I would know possibly as a warforged from. That's about as good as I can give you, sir.
You would be quite right, the young Dilly. Just gonna switch over to the keep here. As the corporal sort of walks to the front of the sergeant walks to the front of LV, looks you up and down, and he looks at the remnants of the insignia that once represented your rank. He holds himself roughly at ease, but at a rested attention, more so. Looks at you and says, "Private LV, state your directives."
Directive 1, serve Vallond and its leadership. Directive 2, never harm Vallond leadership. Directive 3, protect the civilians of Vallond and its governed areas. Directive 4, uphold all laws of paradigm unless instructed by officials to do otherwise. Directive 5, eliminate dragons, their leaders, their kin, and their sympathizers. Directive 6, give no information that will compromise Vallond or its officials. Directive 7, the lives of sentient beings, except those in Directive 5, are precious. And finally, Directive 8, other than for Directive 5, never attack first, never kill, with the exception of self-defense or by official instruction.
Private LV, the year is 397 PD. What year was your designation? So LV would know that his designation was prior to the...
LV's designation is year 1298 YD.
There you go. That'd work. So... Alright, sounds like you're quite right. He's been around for a long time. Where did you find him? You find him in the cave that we marked on your map?
Yes, Sergeant.
In what state did you find him in the cave? Was he dismantled? Was he imprisoned? What was the state of him?
Was imprisoned in the sarcophagus, sir.
Anything else to report about said cave? No other intel?
Other
Weapons?
than no weapons, just runes and drawings of a red dragon on the cave, sir.
Cult of Colossus, no doubt. Still, many of them survive today and still work in Paradigm, but we'll weed them out. Alright. You there, private, and he brings over another private. You are to head over to the city and inform the mages there that we have one of their constructs at the keep, and they're to send someone to collect it. Quick, up to it. Right, you lot, you've earned yourselves a wee rest. For today, at least, anyway.
Thank you, Sergeant.
You're planning to take this machine to Vallon?
It will be returned to the Mage's Tower as it is instructed to do. It will be examined, potentially repaired. If it cannot be repaired, it will be destroyed.
Do you think that's wise?
Are you questioning me, son?
Well, it's a dragon city, and it's made to kill dragons. So,
Well, last I checked, Vallon was not a dragon city. There are dragons and dragonkin in the city, of course.
Also, Corporal, Directive 1, serve Valond and its leaders. If that's what you are worried about, Corporal.
What are you asking me,
Look,
Corporal?
I wish to accompany it to its location to make sure that it does no harm.
And why do you think that I would allow you to do that?
It was a request to.
Need I remind you, Corporal, that you've been here about a month? You've still got a lot to prove before you're be given such a task.
Yes, sir, I understand. I apologize.
Dismissed.
Yes, Sergeant. Okay, march back to the barracks, everyone.
So with that, the rest of you turn and follow your orders, and you head back to the barracks. We will now follow LV for a time, so you guys can sit back and relax for a bit. LV, after about what seems like about 45 minutes, almost an hour, you held it. You're not restrained initially, and then 4 other armored and I mean, when I say armored, these guys are in plate armor. They're wearing a different cloak. It still has the long colors. It still has the white dragon on it, but it's in a gold and bronze trim. These, to anyone else looking on, would be known as the personal guard of Queen Ildry. They're accompanied by a very thin, very tall elven gentleman, dark hair. And as they approach, the guards flank you. One of them steps in front of you and just simply says, "Hands out, please," which you would do, so you would comply. He is of a higher rank than you, so you definitely comply. And
LV puts his hands forward and out, palms up.
you are then shackled. The shackles are no ordinary shackles. They seem to be not typical shackles, so you're not entirely sure what they do, but you're able to move. At this point, the elven gentleman then nods at the guards and says, "Follow me," and heads out. And the guards flank you and you follow.
LV cooperates.
You're then led from the keep, the short journey from the keep to the city. Then through the city streets, you get many looks and sort of pauses from many of the different people within the city, as you would get the impression that...
Does LV notice them all looking?
I'd say you would. You'll see people stop and actually look and turn and stare. You get the impression that they don't see Warforged. I mean, not that I don't know if LV would understand that he's a Warforged, but they definitely don't see your kind here often. On occasion, you spy a Dragonborn or Dragonkin, which does kick in Directive 5. However, you're unable to act on it at this point.
2 things would happen. First thing, LV would go, activating disguise, knowing that he's been looked at, and anything that can fold, that isn't broken, would fold, and his disguise kit, being an assassin rogue, his disguise kit would basically all the flaps of leather that fold around, would try to make him, it basically looks like a rough version of Assassin's Creed, where he's in like a cloak and he just... some of it doesn't work.
Yeah, I would say that most of it doesn't work, as the cloth and leather would have rotted away over the last 400 years.
Correct, yeah.
So the gears whir and things move. Whether LV would be aware that it's not working, he would get the impression that it definitely did work, because obviously he's activated it.
He's activated it, but I think he gets feedback.
I would say so. And anything that, like I say, anything directive based at this point doesn't seem to be working. Specifically Directive 5, you try to act on it, and it's like you're just bound to walk with this group. There's just something stopping you from acting on Directive 5 at this point.
We're going Directive 5, active. Directive 1, active passive mode.
Yeah, so it's kind of a glitch thing, and every now and again you probably stop and glitch and walk. Eventually you make it to the Mage's Tower, You spend time inside the Mage's Tower in a special area which is beneath the tower. You're cleaned up. All of the rotting cloth and leather is removed, and you ask several questions, just mundane stuff. Again, the same thing. What is your designation? What year were you designated? What are your prime directives? And all that sort of stuff. And it's almost the same stuff over and over again for a couple of hours. Then eventually another elven gentleman comes into the room and sort of ushers everyone else out, replaces your shackles, and says to you, "Come with me, please." And you would recognize the head mage's robes. You would have been designated by a former head mage as part of the council of elders that would have had you created in the first place. You were then led back through the city streets. This time no one really looks at you, as you have been covered in a cloak, a Valon City cloak, and a hood, so that you bring less attention. You're then led past the arena into the palace. The palace guards open the doors, allow you in, or open the gates firstly into the courtyards, then in through the halls. Upstairs, down long hallways. This place you've never seen before. The last time you were in Valond, you were brought before its leader. It was a manor house, not a palace. But the mage gives you a little bit of information and says that you are to see the queen, the new leader of Paradigm. She will talk to you and maybe figure out what's going on. You then enter the throne room. You wait at the door. Oh, wrong one. Oh, here we go. What you see in this throne room, and I don't have a throne room splash screen here, so we're going to stay on this one, but I'm going to pause the training ground stuff. And we are going to see if I can find some appropriate music for this. Not that, we've heard that enough in Curse of Strahd. And we will go with, oh, maybe this one. So you're led into the room. You're halted at the door by the guard. The mage, which I will show you guys now what the mage looks like. The head mage strolls forward in his robes. He's not carrying the book at this time that he would normally carry, and he walks up to not a hugely gaudy throne, but it is a nice throne. It's up on several steps like you would normally see in a king's court or a queen's court, and sitting on this throne is what seems to be an elven woman, wood elf to be specific. She is very regal looking, and I will show you Queen Ildry at this point. As Arwen steps forward, Queen Ildry, and says, "My queen, the construct as ordered."
Thank you, Arwen. So this is the little implement of death upon my people.
Indeed, it was constructed at the time of at the height of the war by the former Council of Elders. I believe this was an assassination unit. But as my missive stated, his directives can be reset, and only by you.
And I was given his directives already.
Yes. They're in the Discord, but you can ask him what
I
his...
know, but
Yeah.
but Ildry was given. his
Ildry was given
directive.
his directive, so she knows that Directive 5 was to... basically, here is an assassination unit, is to hunt down and kill all dragons and their kin and all sympathizers of dragons at that point.
If he was made by the elders, Arwen, do you really trust that just changing his directives will be of use?
I do. I have studied him for the past few hours, and by all accounts, altering his prime directive, specifically Directive 5, will have him compliant and most definitely useful. He may even have hidden knowledge of previous cult of Kosas and cult of Asmodeus locations that we may be able to scout for more intel.
Let's unshackle him.
Are you sure, my queen?
Yes.
As you wish. And with that, Arwen then heads across the throne room, walks over to LV, still flanked by the two of the Queen's personal guard. 4 other personal guards stand at the walls on either side of the throne room, spear and shield in hand, not moving. The shackles are then removed, and you are led forward. Now, LV, you have an ability, I believe, which enables you to sense not specifically the location, but sense the basically the blood of a dragon.
That is an ability you've given me, I believe. We spoke about it. Yep.
This ability is normally one that you would have to activate, but as you are in such close proximity to a pureblood dragon, especially one of Ildry's age, the moment you get within 15 feet, Directive 5 initiates. Shackles have been removed, so you no longer have that restraint.
What kind of pictorial is she wearing? Is she wearing any Valon symbols, anything like that?
She, you have been told that she is the current leader of Paradigm. Arwen gave you that information at the tower, so you would understand that she is essentially your queen as well. But Directive 5 will override that initially until you sort of... It's almost like that. It kicks in and then it would malfunction, same as it did before with Tol'vr.
So that's exactly what happens. LV's hook swords on his wrists, they're small daggers, not swords. They unfold, they're hidden away normally, they unfold and he just launches forward. It gets mid-air and he says, Directive 5 active, take down Dragon Blood. And then as he's in mid-air, everything just folds up and he drops in a crumpled heap right in front of Ildry on the ground. And he says, Directive 8, Directive 1, prime directives in direct opposition. LV moves to passive and sort of kneels down, partially trying to get up but unable.
Before that happens, however, as you launch yourself in mid-air, Ildry reacts as only she can. Yanti, would you like to describe exactly what happens in this moment?
I am going to take both of my hands and starting at my feet. It's like a dry ice almost effect as this ice smoke comes up, and as it rises, you'll see Ildry the White, the dragon, forming. And as you're leaping in midair, she's like, well, here I am.
And this is what Ildry looks like in dragon form. Sleek, slender, not just pure white. She has a silver pearlescent scale, which is akin to her mother, which makes her very unique.
I'll crane my long neck down so I'm close to his face. And I'll say, interesting. Arwen, what do you
Mel.
suggest?
Malfunction.
Well,
Fighting my hook swords.
my queen, as I said, I think he would be an asset.
So we change one directive. What if we change, instead of eliminating dragons, their leaders, their kin, and sympathizers, we say eliminate enemies of dragons, their leaders, their kin. Unless
It's
otherwise directed by Ildry?
It's very broad, my queen. May I suggest something more specific? I mean, we could potentially remove Directive 5, I believe, which would leave just his other directives, which are to protect and serve the realm of Paradigm and Valon's leaders, which is you, of course.
We could, but then we have to adjust the other two that say other than Directive 5 as well.
Of course. We still have problems with the cultists of Asmodeus. The cultists of Kosas still exist. Many cults exist across the lands, dealing with Fae and Fiend. There is the necromancy issue still at hand. Many necromancers still exist across the lands. Perhaps something along those lines.
Tiny toothpick of death. Have you ever killed any of Ildry's family?
Your name means nothing. I have killed many dragons, dragonkin and dragonkind.
That's good. All right, Arwen. I'll leave it to you then.
But the directive must come from you, my queen.
Take out Directive 5 and all associated with Directive 5. He can follow when, I don't know, put him with some new recruits. Preferably with a dragon. Let's test out what he can do.
Indeed, I think I have the perfect squad he can be paired with. As far as Directive 5, you must speak the command word telepathically to it. Either change it or delete it, and alter the other directives to suit.
I will telepathically erase slowly from his memory, letter by letter, Directive 5. And when it says accept those in Directive 5, let's say for 7 and 8, I will just eliminate those letters so that Directive 5 no longer is there.
Elvy's eyes bright up. They go white after the telepathically spoken code. Then they die off black. His head hangs. Then it lifts back up. The eyes flash green and then go white again. And he says, Directive 5 is altered. Directive 7 is altered. Directive 8 is altered. And he kneels down on one knee, puts his arm across the other knee, bows to the queen and says, what is the bidding, my queen?
I take my long talon and tink, tink, tink him on the head. Sir Valand, with your new group, I want to lead you to them.
Your wish is my command.
Arwen, do these things have free will eventually?
My free will programming has been turned off.
I believe that these units were never really given such free will. The archives were sealed many years ago. I'm going to have to do some more research into these units to find out whether we can maybe offer it some sentience. But it will follow orders.
Maybe we can reward it with him for a good deed or something later.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Anything else, my queen?
No. I'm a bit hungry. I need to bring in some for judgment.
We have a range of trials today. A couple of murderers which should should suffice, I believe. Close, open and shut cases, from what I've been told.
And she bows her long neck and curls up, getting ready to transform. She is done speaking with the tiny Tinman.
No worries. Do you dismiss the Tinman? Or do you leave that to Arwen?
I'll leave it to Arwen. He's in charge of him.
So Arwen stands beside you, LV, and says, please stand, LV. We are to take you to the keep. We are to meet your new companions, your new team.
Affirmative.
Follow me. And he bows deeply to the Queen. And as with most royalty, he doesn't turn his back on you directly. He backs away maybe 10 feet before turning and heading out of the throne room, being led out by the 2 guard on the door.
LV does the same. His body turns, but his head stays looking at the Queen.
Awesome.
And he walks and then turns his head as he gets to the door.
Awesome.
Eldridge just like, ugh.
And that is where we'll leave Queen Ildry as the doors close to the throne room. Thank you very much, Yanti, for joining us. We'll probably bring you back at the end as well. But that is it for Queen Ildry this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We now follow Arwen and LV as he is taken back to the Mage's Tower initially, where his cloth and leather pieces are replaced. He is given a leather pauldron, single leather pauldron with the dragon's head insignia of Vallond and Paradigm engraved on it. So now your ability, your disguise self ability would now work as it should, as does pretty much everything else. Obviously you've been in prisons for a long time, so you're going to be a little rusty still in certain areas. Some of your skills are a little subpar, but with some training and some work, I'm sure that they will right themselves in time. You're then led back through the city streets. You still get some eyes on you, so whether LV activates his disguise in the same way is up to him. Although...
no, he'd probably need a lot more repair to activate it properly. He'll just go with the cloak he's been given.
As you walk through the city, you walk past a group of people and a Dragonborn steps out in front of you and actually knocks into you. Not knocking you over, but bumps into you. Excuse me. And sort of walks past and sort of gives you a sideways look as he sort of walks past you.
I look over and I say, apologies.
And Arwen sort of glances, almost expecting, you get that look, that it gives you that look, almost expecting maybe something to happen, maybe a glitch in the programming, just to see whether any residual programming remained, which didn't seem to be at this point. You then led the road back to the keep. We're going to leave you there for just a moment, LB, and we're going to switch back to our crew. As this took several hours. I did think about that, Eldry, but no, we know who killed your egg. So, with that, the rest of you guys return to your barracks. You've got a few hours to kill. Now, so what are we all doing? We will start with, we'll go down the list. So, Uth. As the sound of training can be heard back around the barracks, as you're in your barracks room, you guys are all in the barracks room together. Discuss amongst yourselves what you want to do.
Tol'vr, I'm just going to jump in front here. And so Tol'vr would say, you guys can do whatever you want. I'm going for a walk. And he'd be clearly agitated.
Yeah, you can definitely see he's pissed. Like he's not happy.
And on his way out, you'd hear him say, hopefully we never have to see that fucking thing again.
And you just go for a walk there, Mr. Tol'vr.
I think our corporal's upset.
Just a tad.
I mean, it did seem really intent on killing him.
It's not such a bad thing, is it?
Killing the
Hang on.
corporal?
Yeah, I suppose. He is our corporal. Yeah, I suppose it is a bad thing.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I need to go to the library. This is a bit new for me.
Do you mind if I join you?
Yeah, go for it.
I was headed there too. I asked him.
On second thoughts, I'll stay here.
Ooze. It's fine, I'll protect you.
But protect you from what? They took it to the Mage's Tower.
It's okay, Ooze. Remember, I can command people. Remember?
I just wanted to find more out about LV. I asked him a lot of questions, and he kept saying he couldn't compute, and I don't know what that means, but I feel like maybe it's important that he can compute.
I think that's something that the mages will have to figure out. It doesn't matter anyway. We probably won't be talking to him.
I hope they figure it out. He seemed kind of other than wanting to kill the corporal, which probably isn't a good thing. I
His
know.
first directive would have counteracted his fifth directive. I'm hoping maybe they might get rid of it. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But anyway, it's not up to us. I'm going to the library. I want to find out some more. I want to do some more research. And she's not going to wait for them. And
I'll follow anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want my protection, hurry up.
So all three of you going to the library?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll let you move to the library just briefly. I'm going to follow Tol'vr for a moment. So Tol'vr, you leave the barracks. Where are you going specifically?
It sort of walk around the courtyard, sort of kicking stones and not being very happy.
Is there anything in particular that you're doing, or anyone you're going to go talk to, or something you're going to wanting to do?
No, I was actually going to end up at the library myself.
Okay, so we'll leave you pouting for now. Yeah. So we'll leave you pouting for now, and we'll come with the other group. You guys leave the barracks and you head out towards the library. You know where it is by now. You've all been there. And as you reach, there's a few people in the library. A couple of, looks like maybe a cleric or one of the other mages. The librarian or the sorcerer, wizard, mage, you're not sure what he is there. He's sitting at a desk and looks like he's reading a book, which is kind of weird because you guys know he's blind, but he looks like he's reading a book as you approach.
Good morning. Usual book, and do you have anything on the Dragon Wars?
Good afternoon, recruits. Well,
Is it afternoon?
Lance Corporal, private, I forget. It is afternoon. Has been for quite some time.
I'm very sorry.
But books is what we have.
Yes.
Which
the
books would
usual
you
ones I've been
prefer?
reading.
Of course.
And
it is
also on the
where you
Dragon
left
Wars.
it, of course. The Dragon Wars, history. We're looking at history of our fair realm, are we?
Well,
History section is on the far left.
on the far left? Okay. And Dilly will go. Do you need anything, Oos? Do you need me to stay? Protect you?
No, I'll be fine.
What do you need protection for in a library, young man?
Dilly's gonna chuckle as she walks off.
Dilly,
Never mind.
what did you say LV was again?
Warforged.
Did you have any books on warforges by chance?
The
sir?
Warforged, the construct. We may or may check that aisle down there, and he points behind you and back towards the front of the library. Look for a book with a crimson spine and with the It's got runes on it. It's not common, but you shouldn't have too many troubles finding it. It's a rather large tome. And for you, more 50 Shades of Drow, perhaps?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Love the first book. Any more for the second? Is there a third? Maybe a fourth? No, I actually would like to.
You know I can turn
have
you
a look
into
at-
a frog, right?
We
Or
were just getting
a
along.
turtle, perhaps?
He'd make an excellent frog, I think.
You're not here. Go away. Anyway, yeah. Books on wizardry, please.
Wizardry. You don't look like the wizardry type. But if you
The books
insist...
can be deceiving.
I mean, I wouldn't imagine you'd have any understanding of the arcane, but wizardry, or the arcane books are in that section over there.
Thank you.
And he goes back to reading for all intents and purposes. It's really odd to see a blind man read. But you all head to your specific sections of the library. We'll go with Dilly first. You're looking for a book on the Dragon Wars specifically.
Yeah, specifically what more along the lines of the political conflicts and the whatever religious conflicts, kind
Okay.
of deal between the two.
So there is a few history books there. There's definitely written histories on Paradigm, how it was sort of roughly when it was created and when the year changed to obviously post Dragon War. Roll an investigation check for me firstly, just to see how easy. This is not to see whether you can find it, it's just to see how quickly it is for you to find it.
Okay. 8.
It takes you a while, but eventually you find a book you think will give you the information that you require. You take it, you go sit down, and you start to read.
I would also grab along the way the Arcana book, and I'd have the 2 books in front of me.
No problem. So, with that, I need you to roll a investigation check for me. Not investigation. Actually, yes, another investigation check to search through the tome for your specific topic you're looking for.
8.
8 again. You turn through the pages and you find information about the last couple of 100 years, keep going through, and eventually you get to a point, and it takes you a little while, but you get to a point in the book where you can say, okay, this looks like it starts to talk about the start of the Dragon War. Roll an intelligence check for me, please. Is that another 8?
I'm actually going to use my inspo and pray I get a 10. Jesus Christ. Not quite, but that's a 14 now.
14, that's not bad, it's not bad.
Considering it was originally a 5 instead of a 14.
No worries. So, you find a section which says this. The Dragon War started as a dragon of red color, or crimson color it specifically says, rose through the ranks of the chromatics. He was ruthless, he was determined, he believed that all humanoids should serve dragons and their kin. And he eventually came to power within the dragon hierarchy. His then mate was a white dragon. And things are a little hazy at that point. They don't go into much detail about what happened in that particular area. Then it sort of seems to skip a few years. And it talks about the first dragon attacks on some of the major settlements across Paradigm, which essentially sparked the Dragon War. the histories that are written in these books would suggest that the dragons were the ones to start it, that they were the ones that rose up against the human races or the humanoid races, attacking first the smaller settlements and then attacking the larger cities, eventually turning it into a full-scale war against dragons and humanoids. With a 14, you would also find a little bit of information about the Council of Elders when that was formed, that to fight this war and hopefully turn the tide, the races of men, dwarves, dragonborn, elf, and basically all the humanoid races formed this council, and each race elected a member to sit on this council, and that council started making decisions on how to best combat this threat to paradigm. And over the course of several decades, which the war lasted, from what you can read, lasted about 40 or so years before it was finally brought under control. And the dragons weren't exactly defeated, however. The war ended, and technically the humanoids of Paradigm won, but there was also like guerrilla type attacks from dragons. Dragons were still very prevalent within the realm at that point, and it wasn't until later on you start reading about the rise of Kosas again, and then his banishment. And that's you get the basic gist of this. He was banished, and then you start getting into the Lines of Elond history, which you know some of already. Because that's the Lines of Elond history is very well known across the realm, even for someone that's relatively new to the realm would have heard the stories, definitely.
Out of curiosity, would I know that Yildri was a white dragon?
Everyone knows that Ildri's a white dragon.
Yeah.
So whether you would assume that was the white dragon they spoke of, as there was obviously lots of white dragons around the realm at the time, who knows?
Natural 20 is what I'd go on my perception or whatever. What my thinking would be.
If you wanted to assume that, that's up to you. Whether you know that as a fact, that's something that probably you wouldn't know, but you can assume that, and that's quite fine if you want to assume that she was a white dragon, 100%.
That would be Dilly's kind of, I wonder if that was kind of thing, and that's what she would be thinking.
Easily enough.
How long would that take?
That would probably take you several hours. Probably 3 or 4 hours. So you'd be looking dinner time, just after dinner time, that you would probably complete that study.
Dilly would miss dinner and try and get 2 hours of the Arcana, and if she
can.
No
worries. Yep, easily done. You can mark that down. We will now follow Mr. Varios, who is looking for a book on the Warforged. Roll an investigation check for me, please, sir. Ich. Oh, that's an ich, all right. You did just get a advantage from Eric. I didn't want to use it. Up to you. That's better. 12. Only takes you half the time to find it, but you do find it eventually. It's a little more difficult to find than the librarian made out, but you do find it. You sit down, you open it up, you start going through it. It's all very confusing to begin with. There's a lot of technical speak in this book. So I need you to roll firstly another investigation to see if you can find what are you specifically looking for about a Warforged? About its makeup, or what they are, or just
basically what they are, whether they're made or...
Okay, so you're looking for a basic description on a Warforged.
Yeah.
No problem. So roll your investigation check to see if you can find that information.
The dice hate me.
Oh, natural 1.
Yeah.
Natural 1. So with a natural 1, you're struggling. You're struggling to make heads nor tails of what this stuff is. You see, you've got a few drawings in there that you spied, and from what you can gather, it's definitely made, like someone's definitely created it, but there's really no explanation that you've been able to sort of comprehend about what they actually are. It's definitely a construct, that much you can make out, but that's about all you're going to get with a natural one.
So pull my Smartridge book out and I chuck it on the other side of the table. And I grab a new notebook out and I write LV on the cover.
No worries.
And then I sort of like jot down some notes and stuff.
No problem.
And some questions to ask.
No worries. You can indeed do that.
That'll be me.
That'll be you. Before we go to Uth, we're going to jump over to Marath just briefly. Because Sadiq looks really bored sitting there, so we're gonna give him a bit of something to do. So Marath, you have left the temple. You've been led out of the temple earlier this day with a veteran paladin of the Order of the Steel Lady. What is your task that you have been given this day?
Routine patrol looking for necromancers or such like things.
Cultists, necromancers, that sort of thing. So you leave the Steel Temple, the Steel Lady's Temple, pretty early that morning. You head out, following his lead. He's well versed in the Steel Lady's teachings, and he knows what he's looking for. And you're led out on horseback. You don't like horses. You struggled during the training on the horses. Horses don't particularly like you because you're so big. But this horse seems to be a little bit more proportioned to your size from when you were training on the large mountain goats. You've been given a large Clydesdale horse, which is much more fitting for a person of your size. Can I get you to roll an animal handling check for me, just quickly? You're getting a whole bunch of advantages in the chat too, guys. Make sure you check those. 14, so you actually do pretty well this time. You manage to steer the horse without any hassles. The horse responds to you, and you make it through the day without too many hassles dealing with the horse. You are led along the trade road. You then head east, heading towards the northeast, sort of heading towards Gatton, but then you turn off into the forestry, where this veteran paladin tells you that there has been potential necromantic activity in this area. There's been some rumors of undead walking around, not doing a whole lot, but annoying everyone, which generally leads towards some form of errant necromancy. However, you spend a good 2 or 3 hours searching the area, and unfortunately on this day, you don't really find any sort of sign of necromancy. You do come across a small camp with 3 or 4 bandits. They look like bandits, you can't really tell, but they leave you guys alone. You guys are your companion's well armored and well armed. You also carry your glaive with you, so you're very well armed and very large. So these individuals look like they really don't want to have a bar of you guys. So they keep to themselves. You leave them be. And then eventually you return, heading back towards the city, where you're met by an officer from the keep who has been out looking for you. You meet him on the trade road. He stops you guys on the road and he says to you, Private Marath, you got to head back to the keep and rejoin your squad. General Brogder's orders. So when at your leisure, but sometime today.
No worries. I'll just finish this patrol and then head on in, I guess.
You know where your barracks are, I'm sure. But just ask at the gate if you don't.
It's perfect that way. And he points the wrong direction, but actually heads the right direction.
Very cool. He doesn't really say anything. He doesn't really react. He just turns and heads back towards the city. So we'll leave you there as you head back towards the city yourself and to the keep, and we will join Mr. Uth Smartridge, who is looking for a book on wizardry. So Uth, you go to the section that the blind librarian has given you. What are you specifically looking for? Because wizardry is very broad.
Entities.
What type of entities?
Ones that my parents prayed to.
That would not be wizardry. I would say you would understand what you're looking for. So it wouldn't specifically be wizardry, but you'd be looking at.
That's the line I was going down.
Yeah.
Parents, wizards.
Yeah. So I understand what you're looking for. So roll an investigation check. We'll see whether you can find it. We've got some more advantages coming out there. Oh, Blue Jay's given advantage to the DM.
Only because she wants me dead.
So just remember, guys, when you're giving
15.
the advantages, just tag. So whenever you click it, just put at whoever you're going to give it to. It'll automatically come up with a chat message letting us know. So, but yes,
Yeah, 15.
15. So with a 15, you're not really well versed in the arcane. You've got a little bit of knowledge. Your particular abilities do not stem from the arcane, but you do find a book that's hidden among some of the other books that looks like it might pertain to maybe the deities of the pantheon and other such creatures. It seems it's quite a big book, so it's got a lot of information in it. So you grab that book, you sit down, you open it up. I need you now to make another investigation check, just to see if you can find the section that maybe.
I think I can.
Yeah, well, you don't know who your parents worshipped or worked with. You had an inkling, perhaps. You've had some really weird dreams of late. 18. Well done. Based on the dreams that you've been having, these odd nightmares, one would say, have you waking in a cold sweat on occasion, heart racing, just weird, macabre dreams. Some of them quite violent, in fact. Not something that Uth is not used to. Like, he's definitely seen his share of violence, but this is sort of darker than that, way darker. So based on that, you start looking through the darker deities. You read through a couple of them. There, these deities, like obviously you read about Asmodeus, who is the prince of hell. You think, nah, that's not it. You look through, perhaps there's some other ones there. There's you go through a lot of those old chaotic evil pantheon deities, and you think, no, it's not a god. It doesn't feel like a god. It's something different. So you search back through the book with that 18, and you find a section on Fey beings and old world entities. And there's a section there which is old and faded, doesn't have a lot of text. It just simply says, "The Great Old One," is the text that you can make out. And it has a picture, a really rough sketch. It's not something that's been drawn well, and it's very, very faded. But you can make out what looks to be maybe wings, not sure. Maybe tentacles. It's weird. It's a really odd shaped creature, but it has an air of familiarity to you specifically. Can you roll a wisdom check for me? A wisdom save for me, sorry.
Ooh, this should be fun. You watch, it'll be low now.
It probably will be. 10. It's not great, but it's not bad. With a 10, the moment you see that picture and start to sort of try and decipher what it might be, you sort of sit back in your chair and you almost get like a flashback memory. It's like you go into your own head for a moment. and you're standing in a darkened room. You can't really see, you can make out some shapes in the room, but you can't really see what's there. You sort of turn in one direction, and as you turn, you feel something there, but you turn and there's nothing there. Then you hear something like a low grumble, almost like something breathing behind you. Heavy breathing, really low, slow, methodical. Something very large. And you turn and there's nothing there. Your anxiety starts to kick in. Your breath, you start breathing more heavily. Your heart starts to race. And then all you hear is, "Not yet." And you snap out of it. And you sit there, hands on the book, and the sweat is pouring off your face. You look around to see if anyone's noticed, and you found that this area is pretty well private, so you're pretty certain no one's noticing. You sort of compose yourself at this point. And we will leave you there, and we will head back to Tol'vr as you make your way to the library. Tol'vr.
Tol'vr would probably take a little while looking for it because he's never been there before.
Do you stop and ask anybody?
He'd ask somebody
Yeah,
along the way.
there's plenty of people there you can ask. There's other corporals, there's other officers, sergeants, plenty of other soldiers around.
Sort of go up to somebody. "Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, what?
You know,
How you doing?
you-
Oh, corporal. Excuse me. And he stands to attention.
Sanity, sir. I'm just looking for the library."
Oh, all right, yeah. If you head down that hallway there, go down the stairs, take a right, take a left, and then go down those stairs. It's at the bottom of the stairs on your right.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Hi, sir. I mean, corporal. Shit, fuck. And you can see he's it looks like he might be new.
Sort of nods to him and moves on.
And you can hear, as you turn and walk away, you can hear him saying, "Fucking dumb shit. Why'd I say that?" And as he's sort of walking away. So eventually you find the library. The instructions were fairly simple to follow. And as you enter, you see the librarian. He's now standing and with a pile of books on the desk that he's been working at. And he looks up as you walk into the room, even though you know he can't see you. I mean, I don't think you've met this. You haven't met him, but you can see he looks up at you, and you can see the milky white eyes. So you get the impression. I mean, you looking at him, you would figure that he's blind, and he walks to you and says, "Corporal, may I be of service?"
I have an odd question for you.
Ask away. We have many tomes, many interesting books to choose from here.
You wouldn't have books on ancient methods of dragon killing, would you?
Why do you ask about killing of dragons? You have joined this militia, have you not? You do understand that this practice is no longer done.
I realize that.
Against the law.
I have no desire to kill my own people. We met some sort of construct yesterday, and its first desire was to remove my head from my shoulders. So I'm just sort of wondering what other sorts of forms of things were invented by, well, to be fair, your people to deal with my people.
Not your people specifically. If you know your history, the Dragon War was started by your kind, as you put it, and they attacked the rest of the realm. The realm defended itself, and eventually they were eradicated. Not our finest hour, I must admit. Not something I condone myself, however, but led by one ancient dragon who was clearly insane, as his name suggests.
Yes,
but
I have heard of him.
not entirely sure we would have the type of tome you were looking for. This construct you said you found or met, it is, you say it was created. We have no histories on that. You'd be best to maybe ask at the Mage's Tower when you're able. They would have more of that knowledge there. That would be their domain, not the domain of the militia.
I see. I didn't mean to offend you. I have heard of the dragon you speak of, and I have heard of his name.
His name is quite synonymous in our history.
Indeed.
But no offense was taken. As I said, your people, as you put it, have been well integrated into this realm for many decades or many centuries now. Dragonkin have lived together with elf and dwarf and human for many, many years. As you can see when you step outside these doors, at this very militia.
Indeed, sir. I apologize. That came off harshly.
And he puts his hand on your shoulder and says, "No need for apologies, Corporal. These things can be sensitive to speak about, of course, but I'm old enough to have been around in those times. Though I was a young man, a very young man, at the time that Kosis rose. I was not a member of any militia or force at that point. I was merely an apprentice. But I saw the atrocities that were wrought at this worm's behest. And I also saw the atrocities wrought at the hands of the council. So it appears that both sides were as guilty as each other. But now with our great Queen Eldri ruling, we have not had such thing happen for quite some time.
Indeed, I hate to say I'm sorry again. It's my family, apart from my mother who abandoned me when I was young, they all died in the last war against said insane. Well, in the war with the insane one.
Yes, many families were torn apart in this war. Perhaps one day you'll be able to find out why they were taken from you and find some peace.
Indeed.
Is there anything else I can help you with today? As what you are looking for is definitely not here.
Do you have any books on programming? No, that's another question for the mage, I guess.
Yes, as I said, anything really pertaining to this construct, I believe, would be there as well. We do have some limited tomes on what they are and such, but anything further, anything deeper, you would have to go there. I believe your squad mate, the young satyr, I believe, you'll find him over in that section. He is currently looking at one of those tomes now.
Well, to be honest, just talking to you about such things has actually done more for me than probably reading a book would have done.
Glad to be of service.
I would thank you for your time.
Indeed. It's been a pleasure.
Tol'vr would turn and leave.
No problem, and that is probably a good time to take 5 minutes, guys. So if you want a drink, need to use the bathroom and all that sort of stuff, need to take a break from the chair, go do it now, make a coffee. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're back. I think. Are we back? Yes, we're back. Righty ho ho then. So, welcome back everyone. Welcome back chat. We're back. We're back to the. Let's get back to it. Yeah, I'll have a coffee, thanks. Nutty's going to make some noise, but we can sort of deal with that. We just had a break. Now she's going to make a coffee.
I was in the shower.
Yeah, she was in the shower. We've got to give her a break for that. But anyway, so have you all completed your library tasks before we move any further forward?
Yeah, mine would
I
be
believe I
after dinner.
have.
Various.
On the way out, I will inquire about 50 Shades of Drow because I remember them telling me to.
You will be directed by the blind librarian to where the tome is located. As always, the books must remain in the library. You can study them there, but you cannot take them with you.
Yeah.
So you do have
Catch up
to.
on that next time.
Yeah, which is why Dilly specifically wanted to come and read her book for reasons. So you definitely led to the section where the 50 Shades of Drow was located, and if you wish to spend a bit of time reading it, you can. It is, as the title suggests, not X-rated. It pretty much goes through the different shades of the skin color of a drow, and how many different types of drow there are, and talks about not just the drow but the dusk elves, the rumors of dusk elves that come from different realms. I would say that you have probably heard of a dusk elf. Dusk elves can be found in the Feywild as well.
Yeah. So I'll read it a bit and make some notes in my Oof Smartridge book about the fact that he seems very intent on this.
Awesome. And with that, all of you finish your research and your readings. Some of you take a little longer than others, but eventually you all make it back to the barrack room. Whether you sort of walk back together or not doesn't really matter. Eventually you'll make it back there. And when you do get back there, none other than Marath is waiting in the barracks for you all. His bunk is still his bunk. He was there and chose his bunk when he was there. And what are you doing in the barrack when they arrive back, Marath? I'll actually turn it over to you guys. They all sort of flow in dribs and trabs, but what are you doing in the process?
I'd be just sitting on the floor next to my bunk that I've never actually slept in.
Oh, you've probably slept in it a couple of times, but you spend most of your time at them. Oh no, you sleep on the floor, don't you?
Yep, he went to sleep on the bunk once, didn't like it.
Yeah, and slept on the floor. Right.
So.
Yeah, I remember that now. So yeah. But so we'll say that maybe Uth and Varys make it back first, followed by Dilly and then Tol'vr.
Tol'vr will go to the bathrooms.
Yep, no worries.
So, Various, how was the book?
Oh.
Did you find anything interesting?
Which one? I read a couple of books.
The drow one that we've been talking about.
I mean, it's very fascinating. They come in so many different shades. I'm not quite sure why you're so interested in it, but I excited to find out why, or maybe you could just...
Yeah, go for it. Just, do it. I don't care.
Did Uth actually read the book, or did he just assume what it was about?
Assumed.
That's what I thought.
For the record, Dilly skimmed and knows what it's about.
I definitely would have given Dilly that 100%. So, I say, as Uth and Varys, you make your way to the barracks, you find Marath sitting on the floor next to his bunk.
So as Dilly comes in, she's going to go, Marath, you missed the graduation. Did you have yours? What did you get for yours? How did yours go?
No.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't miss it. I was there.
Well, you weren't there, but you got yours.
And as
Because,
Varius comes
yeah.
in hearing this, he's like, "Oh, and did you wear a shirt?"
No. They made me a special cloak. See, and you see it's actually hanging down like one side instead. So I don't understand how you guys wear clothing all the time. It's just too freaking hot.
I don't understand how people can wear shoes all the time and she'll lift up her feet and you'll still see the bare soles of her feet. She's cut every single sole off.
He's in sandals. So yeah, it's like I don't get it.
I mean, the boots aren't specific to the uniform. If you don't wear boots, you don't wear boots.
Yeah, no, I don't get the boots. You know, you don't actually need to wear boots, right?
I got told off the first time I tried to take them off.
Yeah, no. That's just why you're doing training. They want you to conform.
Pretty sure
Dilly
it's
takes off the shoes
pretty sure it's just
throws
you
them
and
across the room.
Mr. Smartridge that wears boots. Actually, I can't wear boots, and Corporal Tol'vr has like really big feet.
Yeah, that's why I wear sandals. I just find they work, and at the same time, they're not as hot. Oh, I find out more about the Steel Lady. Apparently, it was that she was a commoner, and became a great soldier and blah blah blah. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping that she was actually a lady of steel, but oh well. Yeah.
Oh man, that is disappointing. We met a metal person.
Hey,
I don't know if they were steel.
a metal person. What,
Yeah,
a person
he wanted
wearing
to kill
armor?
the corporal.
No. A construct. Isn't that right?
Warforged usually is what we call them in where I'm from.
Or that?
Training dummy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Ah.
It walked.
Yeah,
and,
we had one
and
of those.
talked.
It
he
wanted
didn't
to
talk.
take Tol'vr's head off at one stage there.
That's not that bad.
Took him to the tower. Don't know what they're going to do with him there.
What, they took Tol'vr to the tower?
No, this warforged thingy.
What? Why?
I don't know. Repair, reboot.
It's requested. It was still under its previous directive.
Although I don't know where the corporal is either.
Maybe he killed
Tilly's
him.
waiting.
I think he's upset.
Why?
Well, considering one of the directives was to kill all dragonkin, and sympathizers and cultists, its first directive would have cancelled it out.
Cancelled
Sprite
what
couldn't
out?
Shh! Don't tell him that. I
Not
just
necessarily.
No. I want to see Tol'vr panic. That's all.
Well, no. Look, it depends, but at the same time, not necessarily. If its target was that person and he was, just because he's in a uniform, doesn't mean that it's going to get cancelled out.
No, but it would confuse it, causing malfunction.
Wow.
I'm confused too.
Yeah, but
You're always
that's
confused.
your standard operating level.
I mean, that's why I write stuff down.
That's always a good
all
idea.
Write stuff down.
No.
From what I'm understanding is if one directive conflicts with another directive, it cannot safely carry out the directive and always reverts to the original directive.
Wait, how many directives does this thing have?
At least 8.
Do you know what they were?
I think I counted 8.
Do you
think he
remember what they were?
dreams? I asked him if he dreamed.
Yeah, did LV list his directives to the group?
Yeah, he listed off his
he
directives
did,
while we
didn't
were
he?
in the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
so
In the tower.
In the
the
cave.
keep, sorry. Keep.
Oh, at the keep too. Yeah, he did. He listed them
Yeah.
off in front of people.
listed it off in front of us. That's how Dilly knew he had 8 directives.
Does Dilly remember the directives?
I don't know. Mina definitely doesn't.
Okay,
Turning.
so with that, I'll make you roll a history check.
A history check. Even if I move that,
This is why
you
we
know
take,
how when
this
you
is
roll
why we
a
take
thing,
notes,
you're not
people.
sure. All right, I'm gonna say a 3 because that just rolled back.
Re-roll it. If you're not
Yeah.
sure, re-roll it.
I feel bad though.
Re-roll it.
I'm pretty sure that's a 14.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a 14.
Right. So with a 14, you don't remember them exactly, but the first one was basically serving V'lond in its leadership. The second one was pertaining to not harming V'lond leadership or Paradigm leadership. It specifically meant V'lond pretty much, but V'lond pretty much now is Paradigm. So protecting people and upholding the laws of Paradigm as instructed by the officials. The directive that was the one that conflicted, or the one that was the nasty one, was Directive 5, eliminating dragons, their leaders, their kin, and sympathizers. And then there was something about giving no information. All other lives are precious, except for those in Directive 5, and Directive 8 was pretty much, other than Directive 5, never attack first.
And Dilly would clearly remember Directive 1 and Directive 5 because that kept getting repeated over and over again because he was a conflict.
Exactly.
That seems weird that you'd actually set it up so that the thing wouldn't want to kill.
Well, the dragons weren't actually in power at the time they were constructed. They were constructed for the Dragon Wars.
Yeah,
This thing was rusted and old.
It's an old bucket of box.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, how does it identify whether or not it's a member of leadership? Because if it's identifying it via the uniform, it's not that hard to get a uniform. Make yourself look like you're a general. Yeah,
Kept
kind of
saying that Tol'vr was an imposter and came to me for its orders. And I directed
it's also
not to kill
400-year-old tech, so you got to cut him a little break.
It came to me. It came to me. I was its commanding officer. It refuses to acknowledge Tol'vr, the corporal.
Huh.
Oh, speaking of LV, at this time there is a on the door, and it's not a knock to wait to come in. It was a bash, 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 and the door swings open, and Sergeant Stormhammer walks in, and behind him, flanked by 2 other guard, although not guarding him, just escorting him, you see LV, the construct which you returned to the keep earlier this day. The sun is now set. It's not late, but it's not early either. All right, you lot. Snap 2.
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
You fall into formation as per your training, as you normally do when the sergeant enters the room. And he says, right, you've been short a squad mate. Well, a couple of squad mates for a while. Good to see you back, Morath. But you've now have a full squad with your newest squad member by order of the Queen herself, it seems. This unit, LV, has been repaired and has been ordered to join your squad, Tol'vr. LV, step forward. Present yourself to your new superior, Corporal Tol'vr.
Affirmative. LV steps
Tol'vr's
forward.
not there.
Oh, is he not there yet? Oh, no, he's not there yet. He hasn't returned. My bad. In that case, Billy, Private first class.
Yes.
You'll take charge of LV here until Corporal returns, in which case you will inform the Corporal that you have a new squad mate.
Yes, Sergeant.
He is...
Permission to speak freely, sir.
Fuck no. What the fuck you want? You keep it on in that fucking mouth of yours. What do you
I
want?
was just going to say, Tol'vr's really not going to be happy about this.
I don't give a shit what he's happy about. You'll do as you're told.
I
In
don't
that
give a
case-
shit, sir.
In that case, Private, you will be telling the Corporal. Go
I like
find him.
your style. As the sergeant walks over and cracks you in the stomach for calling him Sir Uth. You don't take any damage, but he knocks the wind fear out of you.
Go find the Corporal and appraise him of the situation.
Did you not hear your Lance, your private first class? Private Uth. You were given an order.
Yes, Sergeant. I'll go right away, Sergeant.
That you will. And you'll double time it too.
Yes, Sergeant.
You there. Follow him, make sure he follows his fucking orders. If he doesn't follow it to the letter, bring him back here and I'll deal with it. Yes, Sergeant. This other young guy. He's only a private as well, but he keeps pace with you. He's been there for a while. He knows what's what. And he keeps pace with you to ensure that you go find Tol'vr and inform Tol'vr of what's going on.
No,
But
if I remember correctly, last saw him at the library.
I don't give a shit where he was. Just fucking find him so I can go back to what I'm fucking doing. You're a fucking trouble. You know that. Just hurry the fuck up. Come on, let's get this done.
I'm moving. Jeez.
So the sergeant then turns to you all and says, "All right, as you were, I'm going to get some chow. I'm fucking hungry. See you in the morning for a new assignment for you lot. Bright and early, first light."
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
I don't think he saw you at the library, but no, I don't think he would have. So you won't know exactly where he is, but you'll ask around. People would have seen him. Eventually, you would find him probably leaving the bathhouse, heading back to the barracks, as if that's what Tol'vr was doing.
Tol'vr would go to the bathhouse, he'd fill a sink with cold water, stick his head in it, and roar as loud as he could. At which point, because he's a red dragon, when he pulled his head out of the water, it would then be boiling. And he'd then drain the sink and fill it with cold water again, and then repeat until he feels better.
We'll say an hour.
At which point he would then head back towards, if he still thinks they're serving chow.
I was going to say, do I walk in on this? Because
Well, no, he'd probably catch him on his way out. Like he's heading to the chow hall. By the time all this has taken place, yeah, I'd say you'd probably see him crossing the edge of the parade ground heading to the chow hall. You'd sort of see him. He'd be maybe 60, 80 feet away from you. He's not hard to miss.
look, there you go. There he is over there.
I'm going to stay with you until you fucking complete this bullshit, all right?
Oh, bloody hell.
Just get it done.
Fine.
Hurry the fuck up. Come on.
I'm moving. Jeez.
And Tol'vr, you'd probably notice that Uth is running, like double timing it towards you with another soldier.
Yeah, stick of his hand. Yeah,
And they jog up to you, and this other soldier's standing there, and he's half paid attention, but not really. You look at him, and he sort of straightens up a little bit more. All right, hurry up, Smart Ridge, you cock.
Blow it out your windpipe.
You're lucky the same fucking rank as me, or I'd smash the fucking shite out of you.
Tol'vr, I have some important news for you.
alrighty.
We have a new squad mate.
Oh, excellent. Good to hear.
You're not going to like it.
Hurry up! I gotta go.
For that, just so yeah, you know.
I will
how,
fucking stab you, man.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. The new recruits is Evie.
Evie.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know that
Don't you
thing
mean
that we picked up?
LV? Smart
LV,
Ridge?
Evie.
You know the talk, right?
Yeah.
I mean, are you fucking drunk?
Always. Hang on. No, not
All right,
currently. No.
I'm fucking out of here. And he turns and heads back towards the barracks. And you see him meet Sergeant Stormhammer sort of halfway across the parade ground, and sort of stops, talks to him, then sort of salutes him and takes off on his own way. As the sergeant's heading towards the chow hall as well. He's quite a distance away, but he's walking towards you guys.
Alright. Okay, thank you for informing me. I'm going to find some food and then I'm going back to the bathroom for another hour.
Okay. So what do I tell the others?
Tell them to go find food and possibly pour some water on the construct. I don't know if it'll help, but might fry its electronics.
What's that? What's electronics?
I don't know. It's a word I just made up, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Go. Just tell the others to get some food, and I'll see them back in the barracks, or I'll see them in the food room.
All right, Corporal. Go do your thing. I'll go tell the others.
Dismissed. See you later.
And as such, Tol'vr, you head towards the chow hall. You grab yourself some food. Start eating that. Smart Ridge, you head back to the barracks room where we will leave you just for a moment. While you're gone, LV, Various, Marath, and Dilly are in the barracks. What do you guys get up to in the probably half hour-ish that Smart Ridge is not there?
Well, I just got us out of the firing line to begin with.
What are the bets on Oof coming back unharmed? Just asking,
50.
as it
50-50.
Uh,
It all depends on, if he actually does what he's been told to do.
Well, it all
So
depends on
50-50.
whether it's the private or the corporal that, did him in.
I don't know.
Elvie.
It doesn't.
What are your directives?
My directives are serve Valond and its leadership, never harm Valond leadership, protect civilians of Valond and its governed areas, uphold all laws of Paradigm and Valond unless instructed by a Valond official to do otherwise. Deleted. Give no information that will compromise Valond or its officials. The lives of all other sentient beings are precious. Never attack first and never kill, with the exception of self-defense or defense of a superior or upon official instruction.
Thank you, Elvie.
What's your rank?
I am rank grunt or private. I am the lowest of low.
Actually,
Same
I
as
think
us.
East.
Damn.
I think East is probably lower than Elvie.
No, we're all privates.
Not all of us.
Yeah, well, true.
First class and corporal. But yes.
they've changed him though. Does anyone else have like a moral problem with that? Like they've gone in and they've changed who he is, and I understand why, but
Technically, they've changed you too, so do you have a moral dilemma to that?
All they did was
now that
take
you
out
pointed out, feels for his tail. What do you mean changed?
Various. They changed the directive that would make him malfunction and not work properly.
Mm,
He is
Wait.
now useful. What is it that you want, Elvie?
Unit 426 wants nothing.
I
Are you-
wish they gave him free will.
Are you always active? LV. VL.
That would be affirmative.
Well, there we go. We just found out who's going to be doing all the watches.
Yes,
We
I
can
can
sleep.
rest and watch in the same state, as long as I am doing nothing.
Elvie, can you
do
see
you have
in
to-
the dark?
Negative.
Are
Then
we
no.
able to get that upgrade?
I don't know how that would work.
Now, when I actually look at LV, does he have one white, one red eye?
So usually they're both white. One is, like in the picture, one is larger than the other. The one with the red ring around it only usually lights up red when it's targeting.
Okay, no worries. So,
So
it'd
if
be
you want to
both white
re-describe,
at the
just
moment.
re-describe yourself now that he's been somewhat repaired, just for the
Yeah,
viewers
it's-
and for the team.
So he's about, LV stands about 5'1". Most of what you can see is leather on top of metal or metal on top of leather. Everything sort of underlaps or overlaps. There are joins that look like, which I mentioned earlier, he can flip around to change his look or get out weapons. There's no backpack, no belts, no visible weapons that you can see at all. But those of you who were with him earlier know they fold out of his arms or something to that effect. Yeah, very small, very thin, very short. Doesn't, well, when I say very short, when it compares to some of the smaller people's here, probably not so much.
He
And he
literally
still has a bit of
towers over
mold
Dilly.
mold and dents and rust in a lot of places still, even though he has that minor repair.
Yeah, they've done some real basic repair. Basic cleanup, basic repair. Replaced the leather portions of your being that had rotted away over the course of the centuries, and that one leather pauldron which has the militia insignia on it.
Sweet. I say do cloth implants over the eyes.
Yep.
Sweet. Cool, cool. And that is basically what you would see.
So, are you a disciple of the Steel Lady?
That is unknown. What is Steel Lady?
Right.
I don't think this is the same steel. I don't think.
You never know.
No.
It could be her avatars. That would make more sense. Then, yeah,
I
this little
he
thing
was
was
a-
built to kill dragons. What did you kill dragons by being swallowed and then, jabbing them from the inside, or what? How'd you actually, like, can you tell us any stories of, like, conquests that you've had?
Yes, I have many stories of conquests.
Roll a history check, LV. You've been in stasis for 400 years. Your memory might be a
I
bit
was about
spotty.
to ask you,
Yeah.
what do I remember? So
Yeah,
good call.
You've been in stasis for nearly 400 years, so there's a chance your memory might be a bit spotty.
Oh, yeah, 7. Memory missing. Activating. Refragmentation. Memory missing. Activating. Refragmentation. Memory missing. I have many files on how to poison.
Elvie, you may stop.
Yes, PIC.
You may stop.
You've got many files on how to poison what?
Marath.
Many files on how to poison the enemy.
What are the enemy?
Whatever.
Oh, wait a minute. Do you know how to take out zombies? Skeletons?
Yes.
Necros?
Yes.
Good, good, good. You are useful then.
Elvie, what is your specialty?
I am an extermination expert.
Explain.
I am good at stealth. I am good at poisoning. I am good at disguise. I am good at assassination.
Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense because one of your thingos is that you'll never attack outright, you only defend. So technically, you're a shit assassin.
Incorrect.
Assassins, I think, usually kill the things they're told to kill, and if he was told to kill them, he could kill them.
Affirmative.
I'm surrounded by killers. They're everywhere.
You're a killer too now, you know that, right?
I have 742,000 kills on record.
Good effort.
Yeah, definitely outweighs me. I'm
He
probably only in the hundreds or so.
His arm outweighs you.
Is it heavy? And I'll go over and try and lift it.
You gonna try and lift him up? Roll a strength check
Is it okay if I...
at disadvantage.
What does various weigh?
What is various way?
I think it's... I can't remember. It's on your sheet. I can't remember what it is. And let's see. I don't think I have it on your It's on your D&D Beyond sheet.
113 pounds.
102. So he's a lightweight.
So yeah, I think I'd be heavy. DM, I guess that's up to you. I'm 320.
Yeah, you're definitely heavy. So yeah, strength check, I would say at disadvantage as well, various. Even though your strength is super low
Muted on
anyway.
video.
Muted.
Oh crap. Oh crap. I'm muted over here. Strength check. But you are, yeah, he's definitely a lot heavier than you. I know your strength is stupid low. So I'd say with disadvantage as well. Because there's no way, I don't think there's any way that Ferris is going to be able to lift this creature. It's still not bad with a 12, but yeah, you go to lift him and you're sure you managed to get him off the ground. I mean, then you look and he's up on tippy toes.
Yeah, he's pretty heavy.
And it'd probably be about this point, Tol'vr, you would probably return after your second ritual in the bathroom. So we're starting to get pretty late in the time
Where's it put
timeline.
me then? I took off somewhere, did I?
You would be back by now. Sorry, you would definitely have returned in that time. Sorry, you go first, Ruth. We'll have your interaction before Tol'vr comes back. I forgot about you. So much interesting chat going on. I forgot about you.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, so I told Corporal he didn't look happy. Really didn't look happy.
That's why you were sent. Needed a scapegoat, and you were it.
Told you it was 50-50.
That private though, damn.
Who's privates? What?
The private that got sent with me to make sure I did my job.
I'm wondering what
Yeah, that's probably not
he
a
did
dumb
wrong to
idea.
get that punishment.
Yeah,
Probably
true.
laughed at one of Stormhammer's jokes. And he
Yeah,
shouldn't have.
probably. Yeah, yeah.
Or didn't laugh, probably more to the point.
Surely the
No, I
corporal,
stand by my laughed at one of his jokes.
surely the corporal will be okay though. Like he's a man of the military. He can put differences aside and things, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
we'll
is
go
gonna
with
be
that.
funny.
Yeah, I'm
Although he's probably been ordered by the uppity ups to actually, accept it. So, welcome to the military.
Actually, no, I don't think he's been told anything. I think I've been the first one to tell him.
Yeah,
That we
but
haven't-
your word was coming from the sergeant when the sergeant's higher than you and him. So, see the process.
Yeah, just hurt the brain now. Shut up.
And
No,
here's one that's going to really hurt your brain. The queen that's in charge of everything ordered it.
Oh, he's really not going to be happy now.
And the queen, if I remember right, is a dragon, full blown, not this, dragonkin or whatever the fuck Tol'vr is.
So, what have we learned about this toy?
Apparently, he's an awesome assassin, much better than you. He knows how to
said I was an
poison.
assassin.
You're an assassin of our happiness.
Okay.
He killed dragons from the inside. That was really interesting.
Yeah, he used to. That's how he used to kill dragons. Like he would wait until they would eat him, and then he would pop up. He used to be this little ball, and then become this huge thing. And so it's a really interesting story. He should tell you one time. By the way, you're on duty with him anytime we rest.
Why?
Dilly said so.
Oh, really? Come on, Dilly.
Roll a persuasion against my wisdom.
Who's in charge of this fucking game? But I'll allow it. Why not? I'll say did someone kick me out of my chair?
When the players kick the DM, just play the game.
So?
The roll persuasion, Uth, to see if you can persuade Dilly not to give that order. She really looks like she wants to follow through with that order.
I got 14.
I do not, because I got a 6.
Oh no. So, how do you react then, Dilly?
No, I can't completely give him that order. Convince the corporal and then we'll see.
Well, anyway, I'm going to the mess hall. I'm hungry.
You would know by now. You would know by now that the mess hall's probably closed.
Ah, crap! Well, looks like I'm going to bed hungry.
Jilly is going to eat one of her rations. She purposely missed out on the dining hall to do stuff. And she's going to sit on bed and eat her ration.
You guys would all have rations left over from your trip because you came back a day early. So you would still have rations available.
Oh, that's right. I've got one of these.
Jilly's going to sit on her bed and not hide, but just sit up against the wall because hers is the one against the wall. And just wait for the fireworks and eating her rations like it's popcorn.
Do you need some rations, LV?
Negative. 426 does not have to eat sustenance like that.
Oil.
Wow.
Do we have to oil you?
I have a self-oiling system. I have self-repair systems.
You look like you could use a polish too. Perhaps.
Doesn't have self-polishing positions?
If I have an order to polish oneself, then I can.
Dilly?
Well, give him a rag.
Well, no, he's apparently able to do it himself. So, like, I want to see, like, does something come out and polish him, or does his head disconnect and start going off? Just give the order, dude. Come on.
LV, commence maintenance. Make yourself shiny.
Confirmation. Commencing maintenance. Affirmative. P1C. And a small attachment on the underside of his wrist pops open, and there is cleaning equipment that he reaches with the other hand, and he just uses his hand and just starts cleaning his parts.
And
that's
at that,
disappointing.
Dilly's going to turn around and go to Marath. You owe me a piggyback ride.
That's easy. I'll
Mm.
just throw you in the pack. Maybe we can get a back rack made up. You can watch. You can. Yeah, that's an idea. You can watch my back, and I'll watch your back as I carry you.
Careful, Stib. Fibble's starting to come out. Your whole voice just changed there, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that was great.
That reminds me of a friend. He used to have his backpack, and I used to ride in his backpack. He loved carrying me around. He loved carrying around gnomes. He thought it was cool.
It's at this point Tol'vr would return.
Just gonna sit and watch the fireworks, man.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh,
LV instantly
good, I
stops
heard you
cleaning.
there.
LV instantly stops cleaning, puts his hand to a fist, puts it against his chest, and nods, and says, "Corporal."
Oh, you acknowledge my existence now. He
Affirmative.
walks up to him and says, "How do you feel about dragons?"
This unit does not feel.
What are your orders regarding dragons?
Searching. Database. No information on orders for dragons.
What have you been ordered to do regarding this group?
Serve as a soldier. Under your command.
If you were ordered to harm a member of your own group, would you do it?
If the order comes directly from someone above you, then yes.
Alrighty. Well, I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
What?
Gilly's going to.
That's oh, what a
Gilly's
waste.
going to look at Marath and Varys and go, "That's it."
What, did you think there'd be fireworks or something?
Yeah, I was looking for a night entertainment.
LV, can you do fireworks?
This unit does not do fireworks. However, Unit 409 possibly can.
Oh man, we need to find Unit 409.
What happened to Unit 409?
Searching memories. Unit 409 is deceased.
How many units are there?
425 before me. After, unknown.
You said your name was Evie, right? What does that mean?
Incorrect. My name is 426.
We were introduced as LV. Is LV still okay to call you that?
LV. Echo Lima Victor Echo Echo. That stands for Elimination Legion of Valond. And then my designation, Extermination Expert.
You okay with LV?
That will suffice.
What do you
46. I don't like numbers.
What do you prefer to be called?
Whatever your command is, Corporal.
So
Toy
you
soldier. I like toy soldier. Anyone else?
You're a bloody toy soldier, now shut up.
The Queen did say, little toothpick of death.
Hey, I like that.
It's got a charm to it.
It does, doesn't it?
I do like little toothpick.
Toothpick?
He's taller than me.
You're not a toothpick, though. He is.
He's not made out of wood either. You're not made out of wood, are you, LV?
Are you saying I'm fat, Oos?
Affirmative.
No, never.
You're not saying that I'm fat. Don't think I can't do something to you to make you very unhappy about things.
No, I would never do that. Yeah, never do that.
Mm-hmm.
What is your commands, Corporal?
My command is that you will follow my command and you'll follow first in charge Dilly's commands when I'm unable to give you commands.
Affirmative. That is part of my prime directives.
I'm sure you don't sleep, but I want you to lie down on one of these beds and go to shutdown mode until morning, if you have such a mode.
Corporal, do you think
Apparently-
you could perhaps wake us up? in the
Yeah,
morning?
apparently he's a good alarm clock because he doesn't sleep at all. He just stays awake. So he's always going to be on patrol. But we need to ask about an upgrade for his eyes because he doesn't have dark vision. He can't see in the dark.
He's already lying down on the bed as he was told.
Kind of useless when you think about it. Well, why would you build something that can't see in the dark?
Can you see in the dark?
Good question.
No, I don't believe you can.
No, I can't. But I'm human. I wasn't built.
No, you're Goliath. You're not a
Exactly.
human.
But I can.
I'm a humanoid. I was born, not built. Do you want to go into facility?
Let me tell you about the birds.
Okay. LV,
But I can.
LV, I want you to wake us up just before dawn. And
Affirmative.
if Uth doesn't get out of bed, you have permission to get him out of bed.
Affirmative. You want me to stay lying on bed or stand in corner?
However you please.
LV gets up and goes to the corner of the room that looks, one of the corners that looks at the door as close as he can be, and he just stands and he says,
So both the
"Stasis
best
mode
position in the room
active."
to see the whole room.
Correct.
Easy enough.
And
done.
then
You may finish whatever you are doing with the polish that's covering half your body when I entered the room.
instruction confirmed, and he carries on polishing.
It would probably take you an hour to clean yourself up to a reasonable standard, I would imagine. Removing a lot of the, not all the rust is removed. There's still some rusted parts that may need actually sanding, not polishing. And
the polish makes nothing shiny either because we were designed
it's
for
just
hiding,
clean.
so nothing is
It
shiny.
just makes them cleaner. Gets rid of some of the mold that may have been in places where the majors sort of did a rough, quick job. They weren't really thorough. It was just to make him more presentable for his audience.
I don't know why they didn't install him with prestidigitation. You know, they just done that instead. Just dum, 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 dum. So,
Yeah, would
need
Marath
major
even, would
control
Marath
days
even
to
know
do
what that spell is? That's the question.
well, he's seen other people do it, so and I think someone else has actually done it in the party too.
Has anyone used prestidigitation in a party? I don't think we have.
No.
No.
It's
Oh,
not in
Chris
Dilly's
wants
spell
another-
list
So
at the moment.
roll
Wrong
a
campaign.
intelligence check for me, Marath. Well, I mean, you spent some time in the temple. I mean, I'll give you that. You spent some time around paladins and other casters, so there is a chance.
There we go. Ability check. Normal. Roll. 17.
Yeah, he knows what it is. He's seen it cast.
So there you go. So it's like they didn't give him dark vision. They didn't give him, you know. No wonder why they lost. Jesus.
Aren't spells a learn thing though? Like, did you learn spells?
Well, I don't
Maybe-
know.
Maybe he can learn spells.
But I've just seen people just cast it. It seems to be like a simple thing. Although there's that whole magic thing right now.
Some magic you learn over time. You can learn it and you can lose it.
How do you lose? What?
You can lose it. You can
What,
lose your
like they-
magic.
What, you cast it too many times and that's it? It's gone? You never get it back?
I don't know. I
That
honestly
seems
don't
pretty.
know.
That seems pretty fucked up, man.
Oh yeah, it is fucked up.
But I'm gonna go to bed. So you guys lays on the floor next to his bunk like he normally does.
And I'm going to bed too.
It is definitely getting late, so you would all... Dilly, is there anything you want to do before turning in?
Jelly's gonna open up her notebook and look at the partial circle that she's got drawn and see if she can remember anything to put in certain places. She's gonna not even remember anything and then go for a lay
worries.
down.
No problem. Various, anything you want to do before turning in?
Various would make some more notes in his notebook about LV from the things he's just told them.
Yep.
And then he would go to bed on
No
the top bunk
worries.
above Uth.
No
As
dramas,
always.
as always. So you all find your beds. Tol'vr, is there anything you wish to do before heading to sleep?
Tol'vr would lay his weapons down on the bed and go to sleep under it like he has before.
No worries. You guys are a bunch of weirdos, you know that? But it's great. I love it. We got two sleeping on the floor. We got one standing in the corner. It's just a bunch of weirdos. Anyway, so you eventually all find sleep except for LV, who goes into his what would be called a stasis mode, which actually has him still alert and awake, but he doesn't need to sleep, so he's all good. As long as he's remaining still, he is fine. Yes.
Billy would have gotten up a little bit earlier to quickly go to the bathhouse and clean herself off and come back. So
Yep.
she would have.
We're not going to get to the morning yet, so you don't need to worry about that. We'll start next session probably in the morning. But you all find rest. You eventually drift off to sleep. However, Uth, you drift off, and as you sort of hit that REM sleep, you get to that point where you just hit that real sort of deep sleep, and then you sit bolt upright. As you sit up, you look around. You're in the barrack room, but you're alone. There's no one else here. You stand up, you look around. No Dilly, no Tol'vr, no LV. Maras not on the floor. Varys is. You check the top bunk to see if Varys is there. He's not there.
Where'd they all go? What, did they take off without me again? Damn it.
What do?
Go out the front door.
You head for the door. You start with, do you put your armor on? Do you take your
I'll
weapon?
do all that. Yeah.
So you retrieve your armor, you put it on, you grab your weapons, you head for the door. Your hand goes on the door, and you go to open it, and you open and go to step out, and you catch yourself on the door frame as there's nothing there. Just blackness. There's no parade ground, there's no keep. It's just pitch black.
What did Dilly go do now? Damn it.
Wrong music. Gotta find the right music. If it's gonna play, it may not play. Gonna be a bit. Okay. There's a different one. 1 second. As you're standing there, you look around and you're standing on the stoop of the barrack room, pitch black. You feel that heaviness in your mind again, and it's pressing almost to the point of migraine heavy, like it's pressing on your skull. You can hear your heartbeat, you can feel it in your throat, you can hear it in your mind, and you then turn suddenly, and as you turn, expecting to see the barrack room, nothing, pitch black. You're now standing in just pitch blackness. You feel disorientated. You're not sure which way you want to go. You can't see anything. It's odd. It's a disorientating sensation. Then you feel a presence surrounding you, heavy, thick and dark. And that breathing comes again. Roll a wisdom save for me, please.
I'm really good at those. Yeah, absolutely awesome at them.
6. With that, the pain shoots through your skull. Take 1 point of psychic damage as it almost drops you to your knees. You hear a voice, you turn, and about 15 feet from you, you see a figure. Humanoid. No real features though. Stands about your height. Similar build. Then you hear something else just to your left. You turn and you see another figure. This one, female. Male and female together. They move slowly. Again, no features, just distinctly male and female.
Hello? Hello?
Roll another wisdom save for me.
Oh shit, awesome. 3.
Take another point of psychic damage as that pain rips through your skull again. You then start to have flashes of staring at a ceiling from your back. These 2 faces hovering over you, blurred, like no, they're featureless. The forms are there, but you can't make out any features. You can't see their faces. You don't know who they are. It feels familiar, but it's painful. You then hear a scream, a woman's scream, painful scream. And then you hear a man grunt in pain, and then silence. Your vision becomes clear again, and you look around and you're lying on your back, still in that dark void. And then you hear that low voice again. Do you remember? And then you snap awake, sit bolt upright once again. Sweat running down your face. You are drenched in sweat. Your armor's lying next to your bed where you left it, your weapons. You look around, looking for your squad, and everyone's there. LV standing in the corner. LV, you would probably react as he sat bolt upright, I would imagine.
I would see him sit bolt upright,
Yeah.
but if it doesn't look threatening, I would just scan the area.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would say he looks a little scared. He's definitely taken damage, not you'd be aware of that. I'd say you'd almost wake with not a blood curdling scream, but you would wake with an audible sound as well. Like there'd definitely be an audible, like he'd wake up with a start.
Okay, Albie's
Probably clutching his head too, because he'd still be in a fair amount of pain right now, Ruth.
Albie's hooked eyes would flick out, and he'd say, "Private, is there anything you need me to do?"
What? No, I'm good.
And as you look
Hook
around,
knives fold away.
yeah, and as you look around as LV resets, everyone's where they should be. You're not sure how late it is. You're not sure how long you've been asleep. But the memory is definitely familiar, and it's a painful memory. The voice, however, is not familiar, although oddly It is, if you get my drift. And that's where we'll call tonight's session, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us this evening. Apart from my audio faux pas, we did pretty well. Go back to our little screen here, and we'll bring our full map back into view. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us this evening. Miss Yanti, if you would like to rejoin us. We'll go through our moments for the night. So we're going to start with, just going to go down the line from what I can see on my overlay. So Mr. Smartridge, you're going to be first tonight. Chat, don't forget, if you've got a moment that sticks out for you, at Evldoa in the chat, so it will highlight it for me so I can read it out. And we'll grab some of those after the players have gone through this. So not LV, Smartridge, a moment from you, please, sir, from tonight's session.
Okay, so I enjoyed the special guest appearance. Wish he had killed him, but anyway, that's beside the point. That would have been awesome. But yeah, I enjoyed that interaction. Also, the interaction between Billy, Amarath, and Evie. Just the throwing conversation was awesome. Loved it.
Is that it from you, sir?
Yeah.
Vadios, our friendly neighborhood satyr.
How Dilly got Uth to go tell Tol'vr about LV. And I like that interaction between Yildri and LV, like that visual of LV like jumping up to stab her and then like him falling to the ground and Yildri like tapping him on the skull. It was just cool. And it was good to have Marath back like in full form. Like
Definitely.
I think he said the most he's ever said in one episode. So it was good.
Although I think Fibble made a return there towards the end. After playing a character for so long, it's kind of hard to not slip into it from time to time. Is that it from you, Mr. Varios?
Leave the rest for everyone else.
Dilly Dimpers, our little gnome.
Probably my fault that he did go into sleep.
That was all good. It was bound to happen.
It was actually a moment of so Trashy turning around and saying to Various, "You're not here. Go away." Just,
And he kind of was there, but
yeah, it's that whole. No, you're technically gone. I would have waited until you go now. Piss off. And the whole, yeah, I like the whole LV and Yildri interaction with the little tap of the head. Also, Tol'vr with the bath.
Yeah, venting his frustrations. Definitely. Speaking of Tol'vr, Mr. Tol'vr.
Oh, quite a few. It's got Tiny Toothpick of Death from Eldry.
That was good.
Yes, it was. The group in the library and prior to being in the library, there's quite a few moments there that are pretty good. The Smartridge book and the LV book from
yeah, I think Varys is going to be the squad author. He's going to write several books.
Mr. Stib talking about the warforged and he's like training dummy.
That was pretty good, yeah.
Dilly's directive chat with Marath about
yeah, that was missing.
same directive over and over.
I think we'll hold you there. There's a few. We've got a couple more to get through, and if there's any left over, we'll come back to you. Mr. the newbie, Mr. LV, our little warforged assassin.
Yeah, a lot of those same ones. But Mareth to Varios, when he's talking about operating levels, and Mareth says, "Well, you're always operating at that low level,"
right.
Or something
Yeah,
to that
right,
effect.
Yeah. That was pretty
good. Tol'vr roaring in the water, just letting it all out, boiling the water, dumping it, and letting it go again. I thought it was pretty cool.
Interesting way of venting frustrations. Marath. Our Goliath
Everyone keeps on stealing my shit, man.
Our Goliath gnome tinkerer / barbarian.
He was bound to come out. I knew Stib would come out eventually.
Well, he's been
He
playing
always
Fibble
does.
for like almost 2 years, so it's got to happen.
And he's still my favourite character. Out
Yeah,
of all of them, he's
100%.
my favourite character.
I definitely wouldn't mind too.
But yeah, just coming back and having the interaction with everyone and throwing everyone into the shit, because that's what my character does, unfortunately. Have fun, people. But yeah, so and yeah, the whole when Tol'vr was roaring, I'm sitting there going, oh, Namaris would have loved him. Hot baths at any time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh wow,
oh, crap! It's just the weird shit that pops in your head when someone says something. You go, oh yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't even think of that. Well done. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, Miss Ildry, the queen, our illustrious queen.
Everybody's kind of taking them. I like that Dilly sent Oath to be the scapegoat. That was really good.
I was really hoping freaking Tol'vr was going to do something nasty to him, but it didn't really happen.
Yeah. The bath one, the heating the water, of course, was good. And Stib forgetting that he was a Goliath. That was my favorite. I love that.
I couldn't not mention it either. It was one of those things like, yeah, the more you talk, the more Fibble Stib you got. It was brilliant. Drax, Oath, may I speak freely, Sergeant? Fuck no. Yes, definitely. And Alvy's deleted directive as well. Thanks, Drax. You can talk, you can say it. You are in the chat. You don't have to type it.
All right, I've got a couple more then.
Yeah, by all means. We've got a couple of minutes.
Stib saying his arm probably outweighs you at Dilly.
And he would be right.
And the one more is the DM going, who's in charge of this game?
Yes, that was going to be my moment. It was like my players hijacking the. It's like, now you can roll persuasion against my wisdom. So Mina, I don't think you're ever going to live that down. I'm really sorry, but that's going to be a thing forever. But well done. I mean, it was probably something I was going to do anyway. But you'd make a great DM, I tell you. But no, don't be sorry. Like I said, it was all in good fun. It wasn't anything that I was overly worried about. I just thought it was a great moment to say something. But we got to have these funny moments. But anywho, that's it for us for another Sunday night, guys. Again, thank you, players, for joining me for another week. It was definitely good to have a full house on our players. I don't know if we're going to have Stib next Sunday. We'll find out closer to the time, I'm sure. Wednesday night, however, we will be doing our epilogue and chat on the Curse of Strahd campaign. So I hope all the players are able to be there. Emilia, we would like to have you back for that as well. Obviously, again, if Stib is not able to be there, we'll deal with that. But hopefully, Stib can be there Wednesday as well, even if it's only partway through. But we're going to go through. We're going to do a little bit of an epilogue on the story, and then we're going to chat about the campaign. Chat, if you guys have got any questions for the players in relation to the Curse of Strahd campaign, for the DM as well, by all means ask them. Players, if you've got any questions for each other or myself, definitely come up with something for that, and I'll see if I can come up with some interesting questions for you guys as well. We will go through obviously some of the changes that I made to the campaign to make it a little bit more interesting from what I read in the actual module as well. So there was some big changes and some not so big changes. So we'll go over that Wednesday. Monday, more maps. I've started on the Curse of Strahd battle maps, so that if you want to come and hang out and watch me recreate some of the Curse of Strahd stuff, doing that Monday. We did the Van Richten's Tower last night, I believe it was, as a bonus. So we'll be carrying on with that sort of stuff on Monday. Tuesday I'll be over on Yanti's channel. So Yanti, you want to let us know what's happening over there Tuesday night with you.
What is happening is we're doing Call of Cthulhu's with we do Call of Cthulhu with our keeper Magic the Gamer. So check it out. It's going to be pretty scary, I think.
Definitely. We should be looking for that. What are we talking about? The town is Aris. Aris, if you want to be Irish. ARIS is the town behind the trees. I saw that after I completed the map too. It is what it is. Yeah, so Cock Tuesday over on Yanti's channel, and then back here Wednesday for the Curse of Strahd thing. More maps on Thursday, nothing on Fridays because Yanti's got D&D over on her channel on Fridays, and then I might do a bonus stream on Saturday. We'll see. I think we have the child back by then, so we might not be able to do that. But anywho, that's us. We're going to raid someone, guys. So I'm going to switch that off so I can jump on my Twitch here and see who is live. We've got Aussie DevFro. We've got Josie's on. Wettest Orb is on. We haven't raided DevFro for a while, so I think Aussie DevFro is our raid tonight, guys. Drop the mimics if you've got them. If you've got the mimic emote, drop them in the chat. Otherwise, followers, use whatever emotes you got. Drop them in the chat. Let them know where you come from. And we will see you guys tomorrow for some maps and things. Thank you, chat, for hanging out with us. Appreciate you guys. New followers, thank you so much. We're definitely getting close to that 1,300 follow goal. And things and stuff, and we will see you when we see you. Bye for now.